Hey.
Hi.
This is Maloney's Moneyline, week number 11, folks. Episode 30 of the Brew Party podcast. We are coming in hot after that awesome interview with Caitlin Leaner from the Bear Down Girl podcast. Normally on Maloney's Moneyline, we talk about the Bears heavily. That is normally our main topic before we get into our picks. This week, since we just gave you about an hour and 15 minutes of all Bears, we are going to step back from that and highlight some other things in the sports world. Like I said, Maloney's Moneyline, week number 11. Andy Hopper, joined by Ryan. Don't look now, folks. He's getting hot. Ryan Maloney, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing well. En fuego.
In fuego, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new leader in the clubhouse for the Brew Party. Ryan has overtaken me for first place in our little contest going so far. Let's give an update on the record. So last week, actually better than the week before. So suck my dick, Ryan. 3-5, better than 2-6. You got to go brick by brick. You got to start somewhere. Ryan was in fuego at 5-3 and had a couple bad beats that really you were so close to 7-1, 6-2. So let's look at the slate from last week. Obviously, we both had the Seahawks. They end up having to come from behind a terrible first half against the Vikings. They get the win there, but they do not fail to cover. I had the Saints, and I fucking jinxed myself. I said it last week. The Saints going into that game were 17-1 in the month of October as far as covering the spread, and now they are 17-2. Since 2015, I should say that. So as far as our records go, like I said last week, Ryan 5-3. I am 3-5 last week. So overall, Ryan is now 44-30-2. I am 44-32-1. So by winning percentage there, Ryan is now your leader. We both have the same amount of wins, but I have dipped below 2 losses less than Ryan, and your fucking bullshit pushes there helping you out as well. So overall, 88-62-3. Still an awesome overall record. So Ryan, you do the numbers for us here, our hypotheticals. So we're plus 18 units. That would be $1,800, $1,845 if you were to put $100 on all of our bets so far. So it's fluctuating now. So I gave you shit earlier a few weeks ago. So I'm now up 8 units personally. So up $808. Ryan is up $1,037. Like I said, this is hypothetical if you were to put $100 on each of our bets. So Ryan, let me hear it. You're now the winner.
I mean, I'm not going to rub it in. We are a team here, even though we are technically competing, but I'm just happy I'm doing well. I was at, I think, plus 600 a few weeks ago, and, I've had a few good weeks and got to the 1,000 range. So I'm feeling good. And hopefully after this week, we'll both be in the thousands.
God, this is why I love this guy. Is anybody else fully torqued right now? Because I know I am. All about the team guy. There's no I in team. Ryan, you love to hear that. So let's move into a little bit of sports world this week. Start with the MLB playoffs. The big story of, kind of a relaxed sports day today, especially this Thursday with no football. We can talk about the Bills and Titans game from the other night in just a little bit, but let's start with baseball, like I said. So the Astros, the trash-banging, wire-wearing Astros take Game 5 over the Rays, 4-3, and now they have made this a series. It's 3-2. Ryan, how butthurt are people going to be if the Astros come back or back into the World Series?
There's going to be a lot of butthurt people, but I have said from the start that the Rays, I feel like, are my team to win it all. They've just looked really solid, but I can't lie. Like, I would love to see a Dodgers-Astros World Series, especially after everything that happened early in the regular season with Joe Kelly and everything. I just think that would be an awesome World Series, even though I don't want to see the Astros in the World Series. But, I wouldn't hate it. It would still be interesting, but I still think the Rays will pull it off. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I like the Rays to pull it off there as well. Got to give a shout out to former Cardinal Randy Arozarena, who is absolutely fucking hitting the face off the ball right now. He's a rookie. This is his first time in the playoffs, but I believe he already has 5 or 6 playoff home runs and like 8 or 9 RBIs in like 19 or 20 playoff games. Pretty insane run he's on there right now, hitting over 400. He's going to be crucial. I love G-Man Choi, their first baseman. You see him getting animated in the dugout a lot, trying to hype up the team. Obviously, you have to talk about Tyler Glasnow. Blake Snell kind of had a rough start. I think Glasnow did pick up a loss the other night too. But he was pretty impressive in the first part of the series, or I should say his first start of the series. Let's move over to the NL. So currently, the Braves, I believe, are up 8-2 now in the 8th inning over the Dodgers. The Braves already have a 2-1 lead in this series. Ryan, you like the Dodgers, you said. So you're not afraid? Do you think this 3-1 lead is going to be insurmountable for LA?
Yeah, I don't know. The Braves are really solid team, but I mean, going into this, I felt like the Dodgers were by far the favorite. But I mean, I can't knock the Braves. They've played well all season. They've had a great postseason. Their offense is killing it. But I think tonight, is another playoff Kershaw moment. I think he gave up. I didn't watch the game, but I'm pretty sure he gave up a few runs and blew the lead. So, it happens. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but
I do. I definitely feel bad for the guy at this point. I want him to just have playoff success one time. We did see him get scratched from, I believe, game 3 with some back spasms there. He was scheduled to start, comes back game 4. Does not go well. But, I mean, it did go well. In game 3, there was kind of a momentum shift for the Dodgers. They put up 15 runs, shades of the Cardinals last year against the Braves in that playoff series. Here they are. Once a fucking podcast. Gotta lean over to cough. But yeah, the insane, the overhit in like the first or the second inning in that game.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Final there was 15-3. So you thought, okay, maybe the Dodgers have some momentum here. But of course, in classic baseball fashion, you score 15 one day, you can't do shit the next.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think the Dodgers can do it or no?
I think so. I mean, I still think they're the best team coming out of the NL. I mean, it's all about momentum. So, I mean, if they can keep it going forward like they did the other day, I mean, they put up, I think, like 12 runs in the first inning. I mean, if their offense is clicking like that, then I don't think it's out of the picture that they can pull it off. So we'll see.
Right. They're going to need a big game for game. What would it be? 4 or 5? No, 5. They're going to need a big game 5. The Braves are hitting the shit out of the ball, specifically Marcell Ozuna. Tough look for Cardinals fans. We couldn't find $200,000 to throw at him, I guess. But I mean, good on him for betting on himself and, absolutely torching. I have actually his splits right here. He's for the year 338, 431, 636 with 18 home runs. Now he's absolutely torching for the Braves in the playoffs. I do think the Dodgers will win, but I don't know, man. That 3-1 lead has to scare you, especially the way the Braves are hitting the ball. And their young pitching staff is actually holding up really well. I'll be interested to see how well they can keep it up. No playoff experience, but, the whole no fans thing, it definitely plays into that for sure. Well, I guess down in Texas, they're doing like limited capacity, but that's not the same as a regular playoff game. I would assume you don't have the same juice. They're kind of harder to get up for that. Let's move on from the baseball talk. Well, I guess before that, Chris and Tate, I will never hear the end of it if the Braves make it to World Series and let alone win it. So please, let's go Dodgers. And I also would like to see the Rays get that small market there. Let's move on to some NFL. We're just going to preview the week ahead. We'll talk Bills, Titans. So that was a Tuesday night game. We got some extra football on Tuesday. The Titans roll over the Bills 42-16 after their 2 weeks off. There's no fucking way they just took 2 weeks off, by the way. Like, what high school are they practicing at? after multiple, like over 20 positive COVID tests in Nashville at the Titans facility. The Bills were the favorite going into this game. I know I got fucked by the Bills, so thank you, Josh. I still love you. He threw a couple interceptions. One wasn't his fault, I don't think, but a couple of them were bad, and I think he had a fumble as well. The Bills just did not look good. The Titans definitely didn't look like a team that just had taken 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So that was Tuesday of last week. So that still counts for last week, I should say. Going into week 6, the Titans again will start there. They're getting 3.5 points versus the Houston Texans. The Texans got their first win of the year last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Ravens are going to Philly. Bang, bang, bird gang. You know what the fuck it is. Shout out to Roan. But the Ravens are getting 7.5 points there. That's an interesting game to me. I think the Ravens have a good chance of covering, but the Eagles kept it close with Pittsburgh last week. The Falcons go to Minnesota. I believe the Vikings are getting 3.5 or 4.5 there. Steelers are hosting the Browns. The Myles Garrett revenge game, folks. I believe the Steelers are also favored by 3.5 there. Bengals going to Indy. Will the roof be open, Jim? Irsay, please let us know. The Colts, I believe, are 7.5 point favorites there. The Lions are going down to Duval, Jacksonville. The Jaguars will be hosting the Detroit Lions. I believe Detroit is getting 3.5 there as well. Our Chicago Bears going to Carolina, place they have not won since 1995. Caitlin and I talked all about that earlier this episode. The Washington football team and the New York Giants. The football night or America's football game of the week, folks. This is going to be a big one. Everybody, you're not going to miss this. Sunday at 12 p.m. 2 heavyweights. Daniel Jones, Kyle Allen going.
I know I'll be watching.
Giants looking for their first win. And I think they actually do have a pretty good chance of taking down the football team there. Patriots are hosting the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are going to be without Melvin Gordon after he had a little DUI, a little Dewey, folks.
A little too much fun.
Had a little bit too much fun, yeah. Too good of a time, got behind the wheel. Patriots are getting 9.5 there. The Dolphins are hosting the Jets. I believe the Dolphins are also getting 9.5, or it's either 9.5 or 8.5. I'm sure that line will move by the time you are listening to this anyway. The Packers going down to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. They are 1-point favorites there, so essentially a pick'em game. The LA Rams will be going to the 49ers. San Francisco, will Jimmy G be starting? We'll be seeing CJ Beathard, or Beathard, but the Rams are getting 3 points there. Chiefs and Bills, we have 2 Monday night games again this week. So the Chiefs and the Bills are actually supposed to play tonight, Thursday, but due to the Bills having that game on Tuesday, you know what? Just pussies. Like, why just play another game?
Who needs rest?
Yeah. So nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They're hosting the Chiefs, and I believe the Chiefs are getting 4.5. Sounds right. I like the Chiefs to cover that. And then the Cardinals going to Dallas. Really unfortunate news for Dallas last week, everybody. I mean, the whole NFL, you saw that gruesome injury to Dak Prescott. I don't even know what to say about it. His ankle was sideways. It was gross. You just hope speedy recovery for that guy, somebody who also bet on himself, didn't sign that max contract. Don't get me wrong. He's still going to get paid. He's still going to be just fine. It's just not going to be to the level that he was hoping for, which is rough. But it's the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, making his first start as a Dallas Cowboy as they host Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Any games that stick out to you there, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Packers Bucks. I think that will be a shootout to the end. Other than that, I mean, obviously the Bears game.
Right.
But no, I mean, there's some good games. Probably just going to sit on my couch all day and watch football. was planning on maybe golfing, but it's going to be cold and rainy, so looks like I
Foot,
have plans for some football.
football it is. Big day for Ryan. Big day. So let's preview some college football games. Before we do that, big story in college football, COVID-19. Nick Saban, our Lord and Savior, Nick Saban, has been diagnosed with the virus. Hopefully, speedy recovery to him there. But so he is from home, coaching practices via Zoom. They do have a big game against the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. Does not look like he is going to be able to be there. Ryan, how do you think that affects Bama? Does this up Georgia's chances to win, or do you still like the Crimson Tide here?
I still like the Crimson Tide, but I mean, I think it definitely affects them at least a little bit. Not having the GOAT football coach of all time. I mean, he's still going to be involved in some capacity, but obviously does make it a little bit more difficult to coach from Zoom when you're not there at the game. So I don't know, it'll be interesting, but I mean, it's Bama. I don't think they'll have an issue.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna be fucking losing his mind at home. Like I don't
Just screaming at his computer.
like when's the last Saturday that he like not like obviously the season got postponed, so it's not as early on Saturdays as he would be used to. But now, when's the last time his team has been playing and he hasn't been able to be there? He's just going to be on his couch losing his fucking mind. You just get a live stream of that, like
Yeah, for real.
that would be awesome. Speaking of COVID, your guy Dan Mullen,
Yeah.
rough one for your Florida Gators last week. They unfortunately were your lock. We were together for that game, first time in a long time that I got to see your beautiful face in person. And obviously, I was hard the whole time, but you were quite upset about Florida. I was also a little upset because I took them as well. What were your thoughts about that game? What went wrong for the Gators?
The defense, 100%. The offense looks like one of the best offenses in the country, but the defense is getting ran all over the entire game. A lot of missed tackles, and it was extremely frustrating to watch. But I mean, the offense is always there. Kyle Trask is always having a great game. It's coming down to the defense blowing these games. Like early in the game, I was saying like the defense can't figure something out, then they're not going to be able to beat top 10 teams. Little did I know that they were going to lose to an unranked Texas A&M, but I don't know. Hopefully they can figure it out. Their season's far from over. They still play Georgia, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw Mullen after the game. Was he blaming the loss on the
Yeah,
crowd?
tough
So
look. It was a tough look.
if you watch the game, if you watch the game, you saw a relatively large crowd for the current times down at Texas A&M. Dan Mullen after the game saying, "Well, if they can have that many people, then I want a full uh, stadium, the Swamp." Next weekend. By the way, 88,000 people. Like, technically, Florida does allow that. And then a couple days after that comment, 19 confirmed cases in the Florida football program. No game this weekend. Shocker. They
Yeah.
shut down their activities. A couple of NFL teams as well. Jumping back real quick, I believe the Falcons had a couple positive tests. Their facility is shut down as well. Let's preview or look just at the slate for this weekend. So on Friday, we got a couple Friday games. SMU, Tulane, 6 p.m. ESPN, BYU, and Houston as well on ESPN. That's at 9:30, little doubleheader, Friday doubleheader. Looking around, West Virginia, Kansas, Clemson, and Georgia Tech, Auburn, South Carolina. We have Pittsburgh and the U. Kentucky, Tennessee, Navy, East Carolina, South Florida, and Temple. So look, Army, UT San Antonio. Notre Dame is hosting, I believe. They're either, I'm not sure. Louisville, We have UCF and Memphis, Duke and NC State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, the Brandon Walker, Casey Smith game, Virginia, Wake Forest. We have North Texas, Middle Tennessee, Marshall, Louisiana Tech, North Carolina, Florida State, and Georgia, Alabama are the big games there this weekend. I think Georgia-Bama is going to be a good game, or at least you hope it will be a good game. I think Clemson smashes Georgia Tech. Any games from this college slate that kind of stick out to you, Ryan?
Not necessarily. I mean, there should be some good games, obviously. I mean, there's always good games, even if you don't expect them to be, but it's not really like a huge weekend in college football. I'm just really looking forward to Bama, Georgia. I mean, you love when two top 4 teams are playing each other, so I'm hoping that's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's a good one as well. You got to love it. Gotta love it. All right, folks, let's get in some picks. That's what we're here for. Like we said earlier, we are 88, 62, and 3 overall, plus 18 units. Doing pretty well. My last 2 weeks have been absolute dog shit. I don't want to talk about them anymore. This week, hey, maybe we go 4-4. Just one more win. We're going to build it up. Psych. This is a big week. I love the board this week. Even if you don't love the board, you have to say you love the board. Positive vibes only here. We got to get some W's for the people. All right, Ryan, your favorite of the week, week 11, Maloney's Money Line, episode number 30 of the Brew Party podcast. Mr. Maloney.
My favorite is Patriots -9.5 versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos are pretty beat up, and now they just lost their number 1 running back, Melvin Gordon. So Cam's back. I think Gilmore's back for the Patriots. So I like the Patriots to cover that by 10 points.
Yeah, I love that. Patriots -9.5 versus Denver is my lock of the week tonight. Lock of the week tonight. Lock of the week this week, folks. Yeah, I love it. We talked about it earlier. Melvin Gordon had a little bit too much fun. Give me your keys. Give me your keys. And I don't even know who's starting. Is it Ripien or Ripon or however you say it? If it's that guy again, give me Cam Newton and the Patriots all day -9.5. That's my lock of the week. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. So you give me your lock, and then I'll give my favorite.
All right, yeah, my lock, as we were just talking about, I'm going Bama -3.5 versus Georgia. Shout out Thomas. Shout out to all the other Bama boys out there. I think it's going to be a close one the whole game, but I think it's going to come down to whoever scores the last touchdown. I don't think that this game – I mean, it could – end up being won by field goal, but I think it's going to be similar to Bama versus Ole Miss last week, where it's a shootout to the end, and well, not really to the end last week, but you know what I'm saying? Most of the game is shootout, and I think Bama will win by a touchdown.
You get it.
You get it.
Yeah. Lock that one in, folks. Bama -3.5.
Win for Saban.
You got to do it for Nick. Do it for Nicky. -3.5 versus the Georgia Bulldogs. Again, Georgia, why they always got to come up? Chris and Tate. Let's go. Roll Tide. So let's jump back to my favorite after I rudely interrupted Ryan earlier to give my lock. So my favorite of the week is going to be the Los Angeles Rams -3 versus the San Francisco 49ers. If you saw the game last week, shout out to Ryan. His underdog last week, the Dolphins, a hell of a call. Fins up, Ryan. He not only hit on the +8.5, but they won outright. They absolutely destroyed the 49ers, something I did not see coming. And Jimmy G got benched. I love what the Rams have been able to do so far this year. Their offense looks great. I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to keep up with them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I even mentioned last week, like I said, if Jimmy G doesn't play, I think the Dolphins could win that outright, and he did play, and they still just, dominated that game. 49ers are not looking good at all, especially coming off of Super Bowl runner-up season. So, I don't know. Don't know what happened to them.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it before on this show about the Seahawks not on my card this week because they lost for us. We said we're going to ride them until it doesn't work. I'm going to do that with the Rams, ride them until the wheels fall off. Let's move to our underdogs of the week, the Scooby-Doo underdog of the week, Ryan's favorite pick. What you got, buddy?
I got Texans plus 3.5 versus Tennessee Titans. Titans coming off of Tuesday night game, only on 3-4 days rest. They just played the Bills pretty well. They dominated that whole game, but football is a sport that you need a lot of rest. They're going to be banged up, and I think Texans with 3.5 points will get that W. So,
well, because I have the Titans as one of my other picks, minus 3.5 Houston, but I might have to take that off, like hand up. Ryan's underdogs of the week have been like, let me hold on. I have to look at this because your underdogs of the week are hitting at an insane rate. Ryan's underdogs are 7-3. Yeah, scratch Titans minus 3.5 for my card. I know I didn't give that out yet, but I'm putting my hand up. I'm an honest guy, okay? So I'm going to need 1 second to pick other pick, but
yeah, no problem.
I will give you my Scooby-Doo underdog, riding with the Chicago Bears. Money line, plus 100 versus Carolina. Haven't won there in 25 years. My birthday weekend's coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend. They're going to do it for me. I'm going to be hard the whole time. Theme of this Maloney's money line is me being fully torqued. But Chicago, bear down, money line over the Panthers this week. We saw Caitlin Winter earlier in the podcast say 31-13. I would love that. Ryan, give me your over this week, my friend.
All right, over is going to be Packers Bucks over 54.5. Like I said earlier, I think this is a game that's going to be a shootout. Like you mentioned, it's pretty much a pick'em game. It'll be close the whole game. Two pretty high-powered offenses. I think Tom Brady will have most of his weapons back. 54.5 is not a lot of points for those two teams. So taking that.
Okay, yeah, cool. Sorry. Wasn't paying attention. But yeah, over 54.5. Green Bay and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like that pick as well. So I am going to go with my over Cleveland and Pittsburgh, the Brownies, the Steelers, or the Stillers, I'm sorry, over 51. I think that will easily go over. We've seen the Browns offense go crazy the past few weeks, and Pittsburgh has been able to put up a lot of points as well. We saw Chase Claypool that last week with 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. He had an insane week, so I like that one to go over 51. Ryan, you're under this week.
Under, I'm going Cardinals, Cowboys under 55. Like we mentioned, horrific injury to Dak Prescott. Only wish the best for him, but I don't trust Andy Dalton coming in. I mean, he's a backup that you like to have on your team. He can maybe get a few W's, but I don't think he's going to be having superstar games. And the Cardinals, I mean, their offense is pretty solid, but I don't think that goes over 55. So taking that under 55.
I like that as well. I don't have that on my card. I considered it heavily, though. That's a good pick there, I think, because I can definitely see taking a game or two for Dalton to adjust to that offense. Are they going to be able to put up the same numbers? We could see a low-scoring affair on Monday night. My under, I'm going back to team totals, something I haven't done in a few weeks, but I've had success with. The New York Jets under 19.5 points versus the Miami Dolphins. That's at minus 118 odds. We just saw Le'Veon Bell leave. I know I mentioned earlier in this podcast, I asked Caitlin if the Bears should go after him, and she said no. Turns out he's going to the Chiefs anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, the Jets offense isn't good, especially you take out their best playmaker. I like the Jets under 19.5 versus Miami because I think Miami's defense is actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami's looking like a pretty solid team all around, honestly. So, yeah, I like that pick.
Absolutely. So we already did our locks. So we're going straight to our general picks of the week. We have three. Like I just said, I was going to go Titans minus 3.5. Ryan put him in his underdog. I got to ride with that hot streak. 7-3. Ryan is when picking underdogs. I will fill us in on some other neat stats after we finish up. So, your first general pick, my friend.
Yeah, going back to the Georgia-Bama game, I'm taking Georgia-Bama over 56.5. I mean, Bama Ole Miss, I think, scored over 100 points last week. Um, I know both have, you know, solid defenses, but I still think it's going to be a shootout to the end. So definitely can see those two teams scoring over 30 each.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I actually have the exact same thing, except the lines moved down to over 56. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll
take
take
56.
56. All
So
right.
we're both going to be doing that. Bama UGA over 56 minus 112 odds there. I love that. The same reasoning as you, like the absolute onslaught of points we saw Bama, or we've seen Bama put up all year.
Yeah.
Mac Jones looks like a pretty legit quarterback for them. And obviously when you have guys like Najee Harris and Jalen Waddle, you're doing pretty good things there for sure. Like you mentioned, Georgia does have one of the top defenses in the country, but I mean it's Bama,
Yeah.
Georgia. I think this game they get up a little bit extra. The offenses are going to have a little bit more juice. So yeah, definitely. Ryan and
Mhm.
I are both taking Bama UGA over 56. Give me your next pick, my friend.
All right. Well, we are going to have quite a few of the same picks this week. So if we both do bad, then we both do bad, but we're going to do great. So I'm going, I'm going Rams -3 at 49ers. Same thing that you were saying earlier. 49ers are looking like garbage right now, and I've really enjoyed what the Rams have put together this year. I felt like they've had a few disrespectful lines as we've talked about, and I think they definitely win by at least a touchdown or two.
Absolutely. I love that pick. That's good. I like my chances if I'm picking the same games as you, seeing as how hot you have been these past couple weeks. So I'm staying in college football, actually. So I'm going UNC minus 13.5 versus Florida State. That's at minus 108 odds there. I think it's great value. UNC has been, they're a top 5 team in the country
Yeah.
right now. How weird is that to say? The 5th ranked North Carolina Tar Heels. Are they a football school, Ryan? And Florida State has just been god awful this year. We did see them put up somewhat of a fight versus uh, Notre Dame. I think they did cover the spread, but Notre Dame still
Yeah.
ended up winning by 2 scores. So I like UNC, the minus 13.5. I think they could easily beat Florida State by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, it's that time. Your last pick of the week, number 8. What is it?
Another one of your picks. um, you know, Bears are due. Bears are due for a win. Carolina. I'm going Bears money line plus. I don't know what you had the odds at. I
I have
got
it
this
at
earlier
plus
too.
100 right
Yeah,
now.
me too. Me too. I got it earlier today. I picked that, so it was plus 100 then. So probably stay that. But yeah, I'm taking that. They're due for a win. Haven't won at Carolina in our lifetime, so they're due, baby.
They are absolutely due. Yeah, I love that. So this, I'll give out my last pick. This is the pick I changed. So I'm going to ride Dolphins minus 9.5 versus the New York Jets minus 105. Let's see if the Dolphins are, I don't know, a decent team, a decent enough team to blow the Jets out. We need a 10-point victory. I think they can get that done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if the Titans end up winning by 4 or more, I'm going to be pissed. Ryan, 2 weeks of rest. Do you think that doesn't make, you think that doesn't make up for the extra day or two they're missing out on?
No.
All right. Well, this has been Maloney's Moneyline, week number 11. Winners, 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 folks. We got them, or at least I hope we do. I need a big week this week. Gambling gods, please help us out. Let's go over the records one more time. Oh, we're going to do some fun stats here really quick. So when I'm picking favorites, I am 7-3. My underdogs aren't as great. I'm 4-6. Overs, I'm even at 5-5. Unders are 6-4. My locks of the week are 7-3 as well. So favorites and locks are, I guess you could say, the easiest picks, but I'm the best at those, damn it. And then my general picks are 17, 11, and 1. When picking the NFL, I'm 15-12. And college football, I am lacking. I'm at 4, 7, and 1. Ryan's records, his favorites are 5-5. His underdogs of the week, like I said earlier, he's been really hot with those, 7-3. So I'm going to ride with him on that. His overs are 4, 5, and 1. Unders are 6-4. His locks are 6-4. And his general picks are 15, 10, and 1. When picking college football, Ryan is 5-2. He is very hot on his college football picks. Definitely follow him there. And his NFL picks are pretty good too at 14, 11, and 1. We essentially have the same record when picking NFL. I'm 15-12, 14, 11, and 1. If it wasn't for that push, Ryan would probably have that victory. We're going to assume you would be on the right side of history there, Ryan. All right, Maloney's money line, week number 11, Andy Hopper, Ryan Maloney. Any closing thoughts for us to shut us out here?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to a good week. But I also did forget to mention earlier, to any fight fans out there, he's back. Conor McGregor's come back, baby.
Fuck you, motherfuckers. I'd like to apologize.
Whoa, what is that?
absolutely
What
fucking
accent
nobody.
is that? What is that, like Switzerland?
I don't know, dude. It's Irish. All right.
All right,
Maloney's
thanks for
money
having
line.
me.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Way to end it. Jesus Christ. All right, we're getting out of here. Also, we're now on YouTube. The Brew Party. Search us on YouTube. Get our subscribers up. We got a lot of good clips on there. Going to be posting a lot of clips and also full Maloney's Moneyline episodes. So we're out.